tuning into the Three Souls Awakening series so far. And all I can say is that we are taking flight and flying high with tonight's episode 10 of our personal awakening journeys. Now, we have been traveling along nicely. However, I do believe that Vicky's third awakening moment story is a bit of a whirlwind, like the weather that we've had so far over the weekend. And I guess to a point where there is no return, which allowed Vicky to achieve all her dreams. So I am very excited to hear how you did it, Vicky. So it's over to you now to tell your story.
Oh, thank you, Helena. That's a beautiful introduction. I'm just going to share my screen to show you a little bit of my third awakening. And I'm happy to share all this with you guys. And I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so here we go. So this is my third awakening. And I just put some points there. So I put it in order. So my third awakening, I'm going to be talking about my dreams, all right? And how I make my dreams come true. So I'm just going to give you a summary and then I'm going to extend a little bit on each of them. So when I decide, when I have a dream, how I make it real. So I do a reverse engineering. So I go from the end to the beginning. Okay, so I'm just going to explain this to you because it might not make sense. Then I'm going to give you two examples of how I made it happen. One was about how I migrated to Australia, and the second example is about my latest trip. Then we're going to have a reflection and then questions and comment from you. So I'm more than happy to answer any questions. If you want to make any comments, feel free. Put your comments in the comment box and we will address them. Okay, so how I reverse engineering. Okay, so I have a dream first. I have a vision, right? And when I do that, I start researching. I start finding the information. Okay, I ask questions myself. How I'm gonna do it? Where can I find the information? Who can I talk to? And when I start looking for something, the information start coming to me and the people as well. Then I look at the information, I plan and execute, and I enjoy. Then I think about the money, and then I think about the circumstances, the opportunity that will come to me, and then the perfect time and the perfect circumstances will present during the process. Okay, so this is in a snapshot, just to visualize how I work things. Yeah. Okay. So as I was saying, when we have a dream or when we want to do something, we normally think that, well, we need to have the money, we need to have the perfect circumstances, I need to have the time in order for me to start working on my dream. Yeah, it's never going to be the perfect conditions, never going to be the perfect timing. So you had to start making that happen. I have a dream, I have a vision. Okay, this is very important because when I ask someone, what do you want? 99% of the people don't know what they want. It's really important that you know exactly what you want. You have a dream, but if a dream with no actions, it will always gonna be a dream. It will never be real. Then you visualize it. You see how it's gonna go, And even though if you had never been on that place or you had never experienced it, just imagine in your mind how it could be. Um, and also, it's really important that you focus on your dream because we get distracted. We get distracted with our normal routine, with work, with the house, with the friends, um, going for a movie, and then we slowly forget what is that we want. So we really need to focus on that dream or that vision in order to start the process. Um, yep, the right person and the right information will come to us, and the money is going to start to show up. Slowly, we're going to start executing. It is also very important that we have an absolute conviction that it is possible. Even if everyone says it's impossible, it doesn't make sense. Why do you want to do it? I will come later and talk about that. But yeah, you need to have an absolute conviction that that dream is possible. Absolutely, 100%. Then ask yourself, is this really what I want? I think we need to be very honest with ourselves and do it because we want it and not because everybody's doing it, right? Because we can get really distracted with other people's ideas. Um, we need to think about what, where, how, and when. This is part of the planning of how we're going to execute it. So once we have an absolute clarity on what we want, then we start to plan and research. Um, it's also very important that we ask questions to the right person. What do I mean by that? Don't ask your neighbor or your friend about something they have no experience because everyone always have an opinion. And normally, if they haven't done it or experienced it, normally that opinion is very negative. So go to the person who have done it and have successfully done it. Otherwise, it's going to put all the doubts and the bad energy into your mind, and you don't want that. Go to a professional. For a professional, I mean, if you're going to go for a trip, call a travel agent. They are the experts. They know the information. So look for the people that work on that field and ask the questions to them because they will give you the right information without the doubts and the insecurities and the fears of other people. That is very important. Yeah, do not ask your friends, your family, your neighbors. If they haven't done it successfully, don't even bother because it will, your dream will collapse and you will never really do it 100%. Okay, so I want to explain a little bit with two examples how I was able to do this. And I think it's not just me, anyone can do it. So for example, when I planned to come to Australia, it was 20 years ago. I'm from Venezuela, and at that time, we never ever considered to leave the country, like ever. That was where we were born, families, friends, where everything was there. Then I started to see things happening and it was changing. I didn't like what was happening. And at the beginning, I started to say, oh, yeah, I want to go to Australia, that could be really nice. Everyone is starting to tell me, oh, but you're crazy. That's impossible. You can't do that. What are you going to do there? I mean, you're just crazy, you know? And then I started to understand that they had never done it. They had never left the country, had never lived in another country. And all the doubts they were putting all these doubts into my mind. I couldn't afford that because I was planning my future. So it wasn't their life, I was planning my life. So I started to retract and didn't talk about to anyone, not even in the house. I did my research. I called the embassy. I got myself into the website. I started to gather information from there. Um, and I started to find everything. I even, I don't know, I can't even remember, but I got a book with everything in there, all the courses, the prices, that I could work and study in Australia. I was like, really? Can I do that? That would make things a lot easier for me. So, yeah, so it took me, I think it's important to be patient. It took me 2 years to plan coming to Australia. And that was the documents that I needed to validate, translate. Well, it took me 2 years. But you know what? I was so focused on my plan and in my dream that I decided I'm not going to tell anyone until I got my tickets on my hand and I'm ready to go. So that's what I did. I planned everything. I got all the documentation done, all my visa, my courses were paid, and I packed even my luggage like hiding. I was like putting things in my luggage and nobody could see. When I got my tickets, that's when I that's what the started shocking everyone. I said, well, do you know what? I need to quit my job. And my friends, why? Why are you doing this? Like, oh well, I'm leaving. I'm going to Australia. Then everybody's like, so you make your decision. So yeah, everything's ready and I'm going. Um, that their faces were incredible. It's like, how do you do that? You know what? It gives so much satisfaction. These 2 years of work and planning, and then you finally got the tickets, and then you cannot believe yourself. You know, it's really a huge achievement. So that's how I reached one of my most significant dreams, because I have achieved a lot of things, but the things that have meant a lot to me has been, you know, leaving my country and going to another country where I had never been before. I hardly could speak the language, and I was a study. So I was going to study and I was going to say, well, let's see how I go. But you know what? I was so determined that I said, if I go there, I'm not coming back. This is it. So I wanted to share this experience with you because we need a lot of patience, determination. Everyone is gonna say that you're crazy, it's not possible, and you just have to concentrate and focus on your dream. Don't get the insecurities and the fears from other people to destroy your dream. Um, so now I'm gonna share another example that I have that I want to share with you as well. That was my latest trip. So I thought, look, I have been waiting for more than 2 years to travel, and I haven't done it. I haven't done it even for more than 4 or 5 years, and always have the excuse that I don't have the money, I don't have the time. You know, it's very expensive. How am I going to do this? But then these 2 years taught me that things, if I want something, I need to go and do it. Because if I keep waiting, it will never happen. So I had this vision, everything, somehow everything got together, which countries I wanted to go. I started to call all different travel agents. Um, you know, what tools do you have for this place and this other country? I made a lot of phone calls. Some phone calls like, oh no, this tool is not right for you. I was like, what? So a lot of don't be discouraged when someone tells you, "Oh no, you cannot do this tour," but you can call this other agency and they have tools for you. So there's always a way to get where you want to be. Um, the other thing was that I didn't have the money, so I I had some money, but I didn't have all the money. I had probably to pay for the tickets and pay for the trip, to choose, but I didn't have for the spending money. And I thought, you know what? Nothing's gonna stop me. Everything's gonna be fine, and I have the conviction that everything is gonna be perfect. Everything is gonna be fine. And we need to be strong because a lot of times we're gonna doubt ourselves when we wanna do something. So I thought, I don't know how I'm gonna complete this dream, but I'm just gonna start. And I start asking questions. Um, ask people, could you please send me the information? I want to read, I want to see prices, budget, and all that. And I concentrated so much into that everything was ready, and I had to wait for 2 months to get on the plane. I was like, oh my God, I already got everything. I have got the money started to show up. I don't know how that happened. And the money started to show up. I had the airfares. I just needed to go on the plane. I was like, the day before, I was like, I cannot believe this is really happening. I mean, how this, I don't know. So it was so exciting to get on the plane and then go to another country and experience the culture, the food, the people. And that is an experience that nobody can give you. You know, you cannot experience by somebody telling you how was the experience. You need to get your own. So this is very significant to me because um, these places I had never considered before in my life. And when I went there, it's like, I don't know how it happened, but this is like the most amazing places I have been, in my whole life. So execute, enjoy, and this is a lifetime experience. That's why it is so important because it's your experience, it's nobody somebody else's experience. And this is gonna last forever with you. So that's why it is so important. Okay. So there were a few things that kept me going. My first example was like the strongest one because your life completely changed. Yeah. Gone to another country or the culture or the language or the everything. You have to learn everything there. So for me, it means, it was meaning a new life, a new beginning. How can I start a life that I want? Because I was really comfortable with the other life. I was very, very comfortable. I had my job, I had my car, I have everything, but I was not happy. And that's what made me make the decision. I say, I want to be happy and I want to make my life the way I want it. So I'm going to change my life and it's going to be the way I want. And, it was very difficult. Like I studied for 3 years and I was studying and working. The effort that you make studying another language, it is very significant. But it kept me going because I said, I'm not going back. There is no way I'm going to go back to Venezuela. This is how it's going to be. And it is overwhelming because I have limited time to complete this task in here. And I had limited funds to complete my study. So I could not repeat a subject. I needed to pass all my subjects. And it's very overwhelming because if you miss one of those, I'm lost, you know? And what worked for me was just to focus and do one step at a time, because the dream was really big and it was really scary. So what kept me going was like, okay, I need to pass this semester. I'm just gonna focus on my subjects. I'm going to study as hard as I can. I'm gonna work as much as I can, and I'm gonna do one thing at a time. So when I finish this semester, I'm gonna then think about the next one when it starts until I finish all my studies. When I finish my studies, I say, okay, now I can apply for my residency. And then I wait. And then I wait for 6 months to get a response. In these 6 months, I said, I can now relax because I'm going to be working. Working is a lot easier than studying, in my case, anyway. So I was relaxed, I was calm because I said, nobody can kick me out. I can just relax, do my work, and recover because it was a very stressful time. 3 years of very hard, how much stress and anxiety because I was pressured by time and money. Um, so yeah, we need to do one step at a time because it will help us to be more persistent and have more patience until we achieve what we want. Um, yeah. Okay. Be focused is very important. Okay. My reflection about this is that dare to dream. Um, don't worry about the people that say, oh, you just do your work, come home and watch TV. I mean, that's not life for me. Everybody's different. Everybody, I respect everybody's choices. But in my case, this more than just work. Um, and normally when we kids, we dream a lot. We have a lot of things that we want to do and we want to achieve. That then when we grow up, it kind of the adult life kind of kills our dreams, and we stop dreaming. So
Mm.
life is more than work. You just think, what is it that makes you happy? What is it that you want to do? Start having a dream, start having a vision, and write things down. Because what happens to me when I don't write things down, I forget or I get distracted. And then I don't do it. So it helps me um, to write it down and see it every day. I'll put it on the fridge, but you see it every day. And in order for you to really work on that. Um, well, yeah, I say like my steps are doing research, look for information, be patient, plan. We need to plan really well. And also it's really important that you are flexible because things can change. Um, Look, this is my story. I wanted to share it with you because I want to tell you that it is possible. Everything is possible. You just have to think about it. And when somebody asks you, what do you want? Just think, make a list of everything that you want to do because you are the only person that can make it true. I really hope that you enjoy this story, my story, and I want to encourage you and inspire you to do the same. It is possible, but you are the only person that can do it because nobody knows what is in your head. Nobody knows how bad you want to do it. Um, so thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy. Just remember, if you have any questions or any comments, you can just put it on the comment box, and we're more than happy to answer your questions or your comments. Thank you, Helena. Thank you, Neil, for listening and share this with everyone.
Thank you, Vicky, for for being willing to share your story. It was awesome and it was so inspiring, and maybe reflect on my own life as well. When I came to Australia when I was 4 years old, so I had very little memory of my previous life in my country of birth, Cambodia. And so
Mm,
I never have experienced in my life what you had to experience, like migrating, migrating to another country and all of the processes that you had to go through and
yeah,
all of your, struggles and, perseverance and persistence and, in getting to Australia because it was of your own free will to come, isn't it? Like for me coming when I was, because of the Pol Pot and stuff, like I was only a small baby. I didn't really have a choice. I just kind of came with my parents, and got
yeah,
planted in Australia. So I never experienced what you've experienced or described just then. So, and even till today, like I haven't really experienced it to that extent, you know, but
mm,
but there is definitely a lot of people out there that have experienced, what you've gone through, whether it was by force, against their will, or of their own free will, like wanting to chase your dream and coming to live in Australia. So you mentioned that it was like 2 years to get your visa to come, and then another 3-4 years before you actually got citizen or
yeah.
PR in Australia. So that was probably what 5-6 years. So
Mm.
must have been listening to your story. It must have been very difficult. So what do you think? Like, what do you think kept you going? Like, I know you described all of that stuff, but you would have been homesick. You would have been so uncomfortable. You would have been, struggling a lot on your own. Like, did you think of going back to your country, like throwing in the towel, going back to what you knew?
Many times I had, it's when I was in a hard time with this because it's very stressful. You don't know if you're gonna survive there. You don't know how it's gonna be. Um, I thought, look, this is very difficult. Should I go back? And then I thought to myself, but it took me 2 years planning to come here. I'm already here. I just have to keep going
Mm,
until I achieve what I want. But I
mhm,
have many moments where I was a little bit doubting myself,
mhm,
but because I wanted to change my life and I wanted to be happy, that was stronger. That was stronger than the feeling of going back.
mhm,
So I think happiness, if you want to be happy, you have to be willing to do anything and everything.
mhm,
Yeah. Even if it's hard. And also I learned one teacher, I was studying English, and one of my teachers, she was very strict and she said, when you are uncomfortable, that's when you are learning. That's when you are growing.
mhm,
If you are comfortable, you will never be forcing yourself to do something else.
mhm,
So that stuck in my head. And I thought, well, if I'm really uncomfortable, that means I'm really growing. I'm really learning something. And this is the only way that you learn. That's the only way you learn, by being
mhm,
really uncomfortable. So if you're uncomfortable, that's excellent because that's the way it forces you to learn something new or to get better at something. So it requires effort. It is required a lot of effort. So that's what kept me going. Yeah.
That's beautiful and awesome story.
Yeah.
Very inspiring. Thank you. It's obviously listening to your story. It obviously I'm in the same boat as Yanin, like Nin, because I came here when I was only about 4 or 5 years old as well. So I didn't have to go through that. But listening to your story, it is all about your dream, isn't it? If you
Yeah.
really want to, if you really want something, especially if it's something big and if it's a change, then obviously we need to believe that we can do it
Mm.
in order to achieve it. But yes, you're right. It's all about taking action because a dream without action is still just a dream, correct?
Yeah.
Still just a dream. So but that's great. Like, beautiful story, love it. And if anyone's got any question, please sort of put it in the chat box. But obviously I do have one, in the sense that, why do you believe that you felt so strong to sort of to leave your country, to come
Yeah,
to
that's a good
another
question.
world altogether?
Yeah, that's
Un-
a really good question. You know what? Because I felt I didn't have a future in there. And if I didn't have a future, for me, it was not worth living. It was that strong.
do you think it's your soul that's telling you, we're talking about dreams here, we're talking about how you feel about this whole thing. Yeah.
Well, it is something really strong. It's something that it really goes really inside you. Um, it's when there's not other choice. For you, there's not other choice. Or you do it, or there's not. Yeah, to me, it was really strong. It was like, if I'm going back, it's not worth living because I'm not gonna live in sadness.
Mm.
There's no future for me in there. And if there's no future, then what's the point of going back? So it has to be the motivation to keep strong has to be very, yeah, has to
Mm.
stick with you
Like
because
reaching the point of no return.
the point of no return, it was
Yeah.
not worth living if I was not happy. That's,
Mm.
that was my situation. Yeah, it was not worth living.
Yeah. Interesting. Um, I can relate with that because even though I haven't gone through exactly what you've
Mhm.
experienced described tonight, but I think I experienced it later in life, and it was around not being happy. In my third awakening, I think it was last week. Thank you everyone for joining me that last week. Yeah, I did speak about everything and everyone around me was happy, but I was not happy, and no one's really going to know that you're unhappy, only you. and
Yeah.
and then it took it. I relate with you in that respects, in that I can't continue living like this. I got to the
Mhm.
point of no return, to the point where, like, I don't. Things need to change. I cannot live like this anymore.
Yeah.
And so it sometimes when, and it, not just us, but like anyone, right? Sometimes it has to be that bad, you
Mhm.
know. It
Yeah.
has to get to that point. Like, for me, I was like, uh, yeah, like, I share this on TV, being a bit vulnerable. Like, being married young. I was married 21, but 22 by the time I got married. And being married so young, and especially with someone that you love, you're always wanting to please them. You're wanting to, be nice all the time. You want to be giving all the time. And deep down, I guess it was my insecurities and stuff like that. That, oh, he's not going to love me if I'm angry all the time. He's not going to
Mm.
love me if I, don't do things the way that he wants it or the children want it. You always feel like someone's not going to love you if you don't give, and you ask for what you want. And so it got to the point of no return. It's like I don't care anymore, if they leave me. Friends as well, right? Like I don't care anymore if they leave me. I need to be happy first. You know what I mean? That, like you
Yeah.
have to sometimes hit rock bottom, like no, the point of no return.
Mm.
Like if I stay there, I'm not going to be happy. I don't want to live there. Like you could see yourself not happy there. So I guess I think one of the big takeaway that I got from you, and it like light bulb moment for me was when you said not to tell anyone, not to share your dreams with
Yeah,
anyone.
and that's so important because you know what? I have learned through my life that every time, and it was not once, and it was not twice, every time I had a dream, it was so amazing that when I would share it with anyone, they would
Mm,
say, they would
mm,
say, "Oh, that's stupid." Oh, what do you want to do that? Are you crazy? They make you doubt, and
yes,
they make you stop from your dream. So
yes,
you are other thing. You are the only person that knows what makes you happy, and you can make yourself happy by dreaming and knowing what is it that you want to do. And keep it to yourself because that amazing energy of dreaming and excitement, it keeps in within you and nobody can touch
yes,
it. And then
yes,
once you're like ready, it's like nobody can tell you anything because like you know what, I'm going. Or you know what, I just did it. So they cannot
yes.
stop you, you
It's
know?
funny that you share that because I only recently learned this in my adulthood, in my 40s,
Mm,
because like you, I had lots of dreams, lots of ideas and inspiration, and I would, being very innocent and at the times, I would run to, the closest people to me, my best friend, my mum, my auntie,
mhm.
the most closest people to you, right? And you're like, I'm so excited, and you share all of these ideas, and then literally they say, oh, oh, I don't think you can do that. That's impossible. It really shuts you down. And what I've learned as well is that energy of dreaming and daydreaming and creating, of ideas inside you. It's like they suck the life out of you. It's like they just suck the life out of you, and you're empty, and then you're like deflated. And so
Yeah.
I actually realized, had a revelation on that one, is that I was actually, by doing that, you're actually self sabotaging yourself
Mm,
without actually realizing it. You understand? So then I had a realization like, oh, I was in that process was self-sabotaging myself, deflating my own dreams. So I did exactly what you did, Vicky. You said is when I had that revelation, the next time I had a good idea, I kept it to myself. You know, I refrained from telling my mom. I refrained from telling my best friend. I've refrained even from telling my husband. Because
mm.
because he didn't share the same the same
Vision. Yeah.
enthusiasm, right? And so I learned this as to build in silence, to build your dream in silence, and exactly what you said, Vicky. Like I started when I did that, I started to feel that I actually maintained that energy of excitement and
Mhm.
happiness and joy. And every time I thought about my idea or my dream, I would just bubble with excitement and joy. And it just, like, sometimes I'm just sitting there smiling, and people
Yeah.
would ask me, why are you smiling? But I wouldn't tell them. I just like,
Mm,
yeah, I'm just feeling good today. But it because of that dream, the energy of the dream or the idea or the inspiration is still there inside me.
mm.
I haven't actually like self-sabotaged myself and given someone the permission to snatch that energy from me.
Yeah.
And I've learned that, and only to share it with people that are going to help you on your journey.
Yeah.
It's powerful. It is very powerful because you're
Yeah.
doing it even realizing. Like I did it for the longest time, all my life pretty much, and I was self-sabotaging myself the whole time.
Yeah, and you know what? You're never gonna have the perfect conditions, the perfect time. Nothing, nothing. You know,
No.
you just have to believe that it's possible, and things start going to happen. You know,
Mm,
things start to align. You find everything that you need. I think that's why we quit our dreams so quick, because we wait until everything is perfect and then say, well, when I have the time, when I have the money, I'm going to do it. But you know what? Sometimes it doesn't happen for a long time. So
yeah.
yeah, start like believing it is possible, and then yeah, just go to the end. This is what I want. Is this is what I'm gonna do it. Because if
Mm,
you wait for the right time and the right moment and the right person, you know, is it might take all your life and you've never done it. You know, just waiting. Don't wait for anything or anyone. Just do
yeah.
it. Yeah, just do it. Mm.
Helena, what do you think?
Well, no, you're totally agree. You should be aiming for progress and growth, not perfection.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
because there is no perfection in life. If you are reaching perfection and if you are waiting for the perfect moment, I don't think it's ever going to come. And if
Agree.
you do, and if you do reach perfection, then there is no more growth.
Yeah. And do
Right?
you feel like when you are going to perfection is another way of self sabotaging yourself as well? Um,
It's lim-
like you
it's
don't
lim-
live.
it's limiting
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
thing is, if you do reach, I mean, what is perfection? Everyone has a different definition of perfection, right?
Mm,
And what is perfection? Like, if you do reach perfection, then there is no more growth. It just means you have to stop,
mm,
right? And if you have to stop, it just means you've reached a ceiling.
mm-hmm.
Touched a
that
ceiling, you
is
can't
true.
go past it. So therefore, you shouldn't be aiming for perfection. You should be aiming for progress, because progress is the next. There's always another step after progress. You
Yeah.
see,
And the other thing that I have noticed that people that want everything perfect, they are very unhappy because they
Mm,
true,
do really, really well,
yes,
but because it's not perfect, they don't enjoy.
they don't
correct.
enjoy it. Oh,
Yeah,
That's a
that is like
that's a gold nugget there.
that's a gold nugget. Perfect. Oh, because you're waiting for perfection, you can't enjoy.
yeah,
Like
Correct.
imagine trying to get that 1% to make it 100%. You're trying that 1%. You've missed the whole 99.
yeah,
You're not
exactly.
Yeah,
able to enjoy 99.
And
Oh my
you won't
god.
appreciate it. Whatever you have
Yeah.
achieved, you will not appreciate it because it's like it's not perfect.
because
That
it's not
is mind
perfect.
blowing. Yeah.
Lovely,
And
lovely. I think that was the message. That was
that
the
was the
right
nugget.
at the end there.
Someone put that in the comments, please. and just recently, I think in the last 24 hours,
Mm.
I got this revelation as well, and I think it's very appropriate, so I'm going to share it right now. So the revelation is start small, start somewhere, but start now, right? Start small, start somewhere, but start now. Uh, the, and that's how you make your dreams come true, isn't it?
Yeah, that's so true.
Amazing. Love it. I do. Do we have time for another question? Anyone asking a question out there? Well, Innovate Education Australia says dream, believe, achieve. Oh, I like that one. But in there as well is, like I said, start small, start somewhere, start now. And as Vicky says, reverse engineer it, into
Mm.
one step at a time. Awesome. Vicky,
Beautiful.
I have to say, I've been listening to your three awakening stories, and all three of them have a very similar theme to it. It seems to be about like going to a new place, like America, and then
Mm-hmm.
coming to Australia. The
Mm-hmm.
big one coming to Australia, and then the other one that you recently had going to Turkey, Egypt, and Santorini. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you describe these as your like main awakening moment. So um, they have a theme of like relocation or travel. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so, why do you think that's the case?
I think that's what really impacts me the most
Mm,
when I go to a completely different place and to merge into that. You know, that
okay.
that is really powerful for me. I have
Mm,
achieved other things, and it's not that I have not enjoyed it, but it doesn't have the same impact that
mm,
this has.
mm,
Like, yeah, visiting other places, it's like going to a different world. You know, you learn
mm,
so much from other people and cultures and places and story, history about it.
mm,
Um, I found that very enriching. So yeah, I
rich.
think that oh yeah, you're right. That have something in common. That's what impacts me the most. Going to a different place and explore and experience it. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you very much for sharing again, Vicky. Thank you, Nin. The last
Well,
three lessons has been fantastic.
thank
I've
you.
enjoyed listening to everybody's story, and it has also, allowed me to reflect on, sort of my journey as well. So, and I want to thank all the viewers and all the listeners who's been joining us. We would love to have you on board in the live, um, possibly maybe in the new year. I think it's something that we may be thinking about. So, if you're ready to maybe join us and come on live with us, let us know because I think we'd like to plan for something like that in the new year.
Mm,
And yeah, so we've still got two more live sessions coming on. So what's happening next week?
Yeah,
We've
we're
got what have we got next week? I think we're going to sort of take a pause, and I don't think we're going to tell stories, but we're going to look at the purpose of awakening. So we're going to share some, sort of different to our journeys. It's going to be different, but it'll continue on with our first sort of story where we were talking about what is an awakening. So now we're going to follow sort of on that course and talk about what is the purpose of an awakening. So would love for all of you to join us next week, and it will be a story, well, basically sharing of what the purpose is, and would love you to join us. And if you have any sort of feedback, any comments, anything that you can, sort of share about an awakening, by all means. Okay, so we look forward to seeing everyone again next week. Tao, Yan, Melita, Innovate Education, which is actually me. um, would love to see you all again. Thank you so, so much. And
thank you everyone.
yeah, I guess we'll see everyone next week, right?
Yeah, see you all
Okay.
next
Bye
week.
for now.
Bye.